designed by the glow. Yeah, touch those eyes inspired, girl, you know. Hypnotizing, baby. You got me under your spell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. I'm a leader, just follow my lead. Show you what I'm making. Please don't fall behind. I could do it all if you're by my side. Loving you so wrong, but I can't hide it. Underneath the moonlight in the darkness. Come on, come on. Secrets only you know that you're keeping. Say that you're ready, we'll be. A forbidden taste will make it tonight. Deep inside, designed by the glow. Yeah, touch those eyes inspired, girl, you know. Hypnotizing, baby. You got me under your spell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. I'm a leader, just follow my lead. Show you what I'm making. Please don't fall behind. I could do it all if you're by my side. Loving you so wrong, but I can't hide it. Underneath the moonlight in the darkness. Come on, come on. Secrets only you know that you're keeping. Say that you're ready, we'll be. A forbidden taste will make it tonight. Deep inside, designed by the glow. Yeah, touch those eyes inspired, girl, you know. Hypnotizing, baby. You got me under your spell. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Eyes on me, follow my lead. Take control, don't worry, I got you. Eyes on me, follow my lead. I'm a leader, just follow my lead. Show you what I'm making. Please don't fall behind. I could do it all if you're by my side. Loving you so wrong, but I can't hide it.
Not giving a chance for the Yift to sprayed.
Teleporting back here, making sure this rescue does not happen for free. And now Universal, he's gonna try to go for this rescue. Oh no, but kind of just messes up a bit there, and he is gonna get hit here through the pallet. Blink is a thing. Actually, he's in the locker, so Killer Bell's unable to leech immediately.
Bubbles pops already. Takes a safe vault. Blink in 5 seconds. So we'll see what happens now.
Unfortunate there, missed timing.
Going to be a safe rescue as first officer goes in the basement, not really giving a double hit as Gardner just tried to run out of the basement. He's trying to go for the double down for FO here. FO doesn't really
on this group, we're actually rotating into this into the psychologist, and an early hit without any trigger there as well.
I think some harassment needs to be happening, forcing out the second shovel out of Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper already have no items after one single rescue. He might honestly just switch to Blink. Yeah, there it is, and misses a hit, but I don't think Gravekeeper is getting out of this one.
And it seems like he's going to be dropping him at mid, making sure that... Oh wait, is that actually plus the fact that he's missing 2 dashes at this point? It's not something that you want, especially in the early game. Stitch is going to get the pallet stun, but for Dreamer, he's hoping to make a Dream here for the side of GSL, but a miss. Oh, exactly you want, but red ball could be very crucial here. He needs to get this red ball. He does manage to get the prime already. Yeah, they're double priming it. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like they should just pop one so they can have another one just go to the gate. But maybe they're a bit confused as if he's going to be able to open this gate with gun also. It's going to be just impossible to make any use of this. Fluff and Paper Moon probably at least going to get a single escape, but with that
there's a Cypher. Oh, yeah, maybe. That oh, wait! I got the drop down hit. Yes, we will see Pharaoh. Oh, looks like he got a little stuck. Little delay of the 5. Oh, the flare. Oh, lucky. I never saw him even pick that up. He's already made his way over to the other side. So, I can't see. Oh, and it was a big one. I think he just has that helper. Yes, and we see it move too. Oh, he almost hovered right in. I'm used to be playing around with the palette right here, and Hunter does not have Blink. So, find some archer. Oh, misses. Wait, what? Cypher. Yeah, it does look like they've opened too. Oh, beautiful. The body block coming in. Oh, no. Oh, there's no one at middle before teleporting. Oh, amazing. Oh! It's gonna be a one-man, I believe. Wow.
We're gonna be seeing her go back through, unfortunately getting that pallet, but it doesn't matter because she's late to the pallet.
Go back down. Flywheel is available, so, and the pallet's not broken yet, so this might be able to just flywheel, but this is a black cage.
It seems like he's just waiting for First Officer Pocket Watch to go out, and it does.
Yeah, and it does look like we are going to be seeing our first officer hiding here, trying to stay out of vision of that goat man, no items, half health. It's really looking rough for our drivers here.
I think Goatman plays really well, as we were discussing. This is not an easy match with Goatman, but he never really missed anything.
You can't really avoid the double down there. Just need one more bomb, the journalist, and the Hula does get it. Here, he's just holding the bomb, finally using it, forced out warp to escape the third bomb. Volt should be able to get him, but he gets hit. Enchantress having almost a second stack already. Gets a chance for a hit, but oh no, a terror shock. That was. I think they're just aiming for the after, cause that's what survivors want. But you know, a blink force out the early rescue, and Perfumer fuel already gone if Billy is able to find the mercenary quickly, which they are very close right now, but just skipped past him.
For a double rescue here, which is pretty good, especially against the Leo, that's able to grab it.
Leo can't really afford to just throw a puppet out to chase the Gravekeeper. He is camping Hunter. He needs to camp, but he unfortunately gives a free rescue. Painter just sneaking in while he's just breaking pallets, and now the
support. We should be able to get this rescue out. We should have another team ready. Leo
unfortunately did not see what the Painter not giving him a chance to use the borrowed time speed up to get away, but it does come. Painter does get down flywheel. I think if the Leo plays it well, he shouldn't be able to get the rescue. Yeah, attempted pounce done there, but an immediate hit followed by the from the warp gate here and a chip as well. What the tension is going to run out. She has to make the chip, but a flywheel is available for Edge Variant. She doesn't make it, but a body block from the airplane is unfortunate.
Loading those hits is he is getting a chip here with only one more chip. And if you're people really trying to the well package.
A stuff from the lucky guy in the second.
First present due to influence, and it does look like we are going to be seeing the Hunter Victorian with both the main body and the gift. We still have we're not switches last minute and Downton I think force of time here and but the ID is right right behind him here, so we possibly could be seeing that 4K of ID. Yeah. We'll be getting doesn't get a kite tonight. Yeah, there's no power there, so we'll be just better. And to block out some angles to rescue from the chair, but it looks like our meteorologist is going to get the rescue and use the wind to push Mad Eyes using one of her guards to stun the Mad Eyes and allow for Doctor to transition into the hospital. Now Journalist did go ahead and heal herself with that syringe, but it looks like Doctor is going to go ahead and do the same. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately isn't. Thank you. Sorry. So it seems the first officer now, and the professor is still in the area. We're going to see the house done. And we are making progress on the other two. And first officer. So we're gonna see first officer push for dungeon. It's getting really close. First officer has no watch to work with, but oh my goodness. This is so nerve-wracking. It is. Oh my gosh, no! Prospector. He just really needs to be careful here because he is one chip away from getting down. But he's gonna use a second magnet to push the hunter away. And we're gonna see a blink. Oh my goodness. He does get the rescue off. Oh no. This is and beautiful flywheel. Great chin left to work with for this peddler. This could be good for the aeroplanist who is going to utilize the jetpack to get away. Oh my gosh! Run it. We're going to see Hullabaloo jumps, closing that distance, utilizing the clone, and then getting the lucky guys now. It does seem like we are going to see the clone. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't think that's from the gate. So there is some leeway to be able to try and rescue him, but we are going to see the embalmer get to half health as we're not gonna take a pill. Oh my goodness.
a chance for the Yift to sprayed.
Teleporting back here, making sure this rescue does not happen for free. And now Universal, he's gonna try to go for this rescue. Oh no, but kind of just messes up a bit there, and he is gonna get hit here through the pallet. Blink is a thing. Actually, he's in the locker, so Killer Bell's unable to leech immediately.
Bubbles pops already takes a safe bolt. Blink in 5 seconds, so we'll see what happens now.
Unfortunate there, missed timing.
Going to be a safe rescue as first officer goes in the basement, not really giving a double hit as Gardner just tried to run out of the basement. He's trying to go for the double down for FO here. FO doesn't really
on this group, we're actually rotating into this into the psychologist, and an early hit without any tricking into this one.
I think some harassment needs to be happening, forcing out the second shovel out of Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper already have no items after one single rescue. He might honestly just switch to Blink. Yeah, there it is, and misses a hit, but I don't think Gravekeeper is getting out of this one.
And it seems like he's going to be dropping him at mid, making sure that... Oh wait, is that actually plus the fact that he's missing 2 dashes at this point? It's not something that you want, especially in the early game. Stitch is going to get the pallets done, but for Dream here, he's hoping to make a Dream here for the side of GSL, but a miss. Oh, exactly you want, but red ball could be very crucial here. He needs to get this red ball. He does manage to get the prime already. Yeah, they're double priming it. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like they should just pop one so they can have another one just go to the gate, but maybe they're a bit confused as if he's going to be able to open this gate with gun also. It's going to be just impossible to make any use of this. Fluff and Paper Moon probably at least going to get a single escape, but with that
there's a cypher pop. Wait, I got the drop down hit. Yes, we will see Farah. Oh, looks like he got a little stuck. Little delay of the fire. Oh, the flare. Oh, lucky. I never saw him even pick that up. He's already made his way over to the other side. So, I can't see. Oh, and it is a 3 go past that. Yes, and we see it moves too. Oh, he almost hovered right in. I'm basically just playing around with the pallet right here. And Hunter does not have Blink. So, and find some archer. Oh, misses. Wait, what? Cypher. Yes. It does look like they've opened two. Oh, beautiful. The body block coming in. Oh, no. Oh, there's no one at middle before teleporting. Oh, amazing. Oh! It's gonna be a one-man, I believe. Wow.
We're going to be seeing her go back through, unfortunately getting that pallet, but it doesn't matter because she's late to the pallet.
Go back down. Flywheel is available, so, and the pallet's not broken yet, so this might be just flywheel, but this is a black page.
It seems like he's just waiting for First Officer Pocket Watch to go out, and it does.
Yeah, and it does look like we are going to be seeing our first officer hiding here, trying to stay out of vision of that goatman, no items, half health. Really looking rough for our survivors.
I think Goatman played really well as we were discussing. This is not the match with Goatman, but he never really missed anything.
Can't really avoid the double down there. Just need one more bomb, the journalist, and the hula does get it. Here, he's just holding the bomb, finally using it, forced out warp to escape the third bomb. Volt should be able to get him, but he gets hit. Enchantress having almost the second stack already. Gets a chance for a hit, but oh no, a terror shock. That was so repallet area. I think they're just aiming for the after, cause that's what survivors want. But you know, a blink force out the early rescue, and perfumer Elfio already gone if Billy is able to find the mercenary quickly, which they are very close right now, but just skipped past him.
For a double rescue here, which is pretty good, especially against the Leo that's able to collapse.
Leo can't really afford to just throw a puppet out to chase the Gravekeeper. He is camping hunter. He needs to camp, but he unfortunately gives a free rescue. Painter is just sneaking in while he's just breaking pallets, and now the
support. We should be able to get this rescue out. We should have another thing ready. Leo avoid.
Unfortunately did not see what the painter not giving him a chance to use the borrow time speed up to get away, but it does come. Painter does get down flywheel. I think if the Leo plays it well, he shouldn't be able to get the rescue. Yeah, attempted pounce done there, but an immediate hit followed by the from the warp gate here and a chip as well. What a mistake. The tension is going to run out. She has to make this chip, but a flywheel is available for Antivariant. She doesn't make it, but a body block from the airplane is
Getting this hit getting a chip here with only one more chip. And I think 4 feet away from
a stuff from the lucky guy in the second.
First present due to influence, and it does look like we are going to be seeing a hundred Victorian with both the main body and the gift. We still have we're not switches last minute and Downton, I think force of time here, and but the Ivy is right right behind him here, so we possibly could be seeing that 4K of Ivy. We'll be getting doesn't get a kite now. Yeah, there's no pallet there, so it'll be just better. And to block out some angles to rescue from the chair, but it looks like our meteorologist is going to get the rescue and use the wind to push Mad Eyes, using one of her guards to stun the Mad Eyes and allow for Doctor to transition into the hospital. Now, Journalist did go ahead and heal herself with that syringe, but it looks like Doctor is going to go ahead and do the same. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately isn't. Thank you. Sorry. So it seems the first officer now, and the professor is still in the area. We're going to do a great house then. And we are making progress on our other two. And first officer. So we're gonna see first officer push for dungeon. It's getting really close. First officer has no watch to work with, but oh my goodness, this is so nerve-wracking. It is. Oh my gosh, no! Prospector, he just really needs to be careful here because he is one chip away from getting down. But he's gonna use a second magnet to push the hunter away. And we're gonna see a blink. Oh my goodness. He does get the rescue off. Oh no. This is the and beautiful great chin left to work with for this peddler. This could be good for the Aeroplanet, who is going to utilize the jetpack to get away. Oh my gosh! Run it. The hullabaloo jumps, closing that distance, utilizing the clone, and then getting the lucky guys now. It does seem like we are gonna see the clone. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So there is some leeway to be able to try and rescue him, but oh, we are going to see the embalmer get to half health as oh, we're not gonna take a kill. Oh my goodness.
Um,
Not giving a chance for the Yif to sprayed.
Teleporting back here, making sure this rescue does not happen for free. And now Universal, he's gonna try to go for this rescue. Oh no, but kind of just messes up a bit there, and he is gonna get hit here through the pallet. Blink is a thing. Actually, he's in the locker, so Killer Bell's unable to leech immediately.
Bubbles pops already takes a safe bolt. Blink in 5 seconds, so we'll see what happens now.
Unfortunate there, missed timing.
Going to be a safe rescue as first officer goes in the basement, not really giving a double hit as Gardner just tried to run out of the basement. He's trying to go for the double down for FO here. FO doesn't really
On this good for actually rotating into this into the psychologist, and an early hit without any treatment as well.
I think some harassment needs to be happening, forcing out the second shovel out of Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper already have no items after one single rescue. He might honestly just switch to Blink. Yeah, there it is, and misses a hit, but I don't think Gravekeeper is getting out of this one.
And it seems like he's going to be dropping him at mid, making sure that... Oh wait, is that actually plus... The fact that he's missing two dashes at this point is not something that you want, especially in the early game. Stitch is going to get the pallet stun, but for Dreamer, he's hoping to make a dream here for the side of GSL, but a miss! Oh, exactly you want, but red ball could be very crucial here. He needs to get this red ball. He does manage to get the prime already. Yeah, they're double priming it. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like they should just pop one so they can have another one just go to the gate. But maybe they're a bit confused as if he's going to be able to open this gate with gun also. It's going to be just impossible to make any use of this. Fluff and Paper Moon probably at least going to get a single escape, but with that,
There's a cycle pop. Oh. Yes, it will be. That is coming. Oh. Oh, wait. I got the drop down hit. Yes, we will see Pharaoh. Oh, looks like he got a little stuck. Little delay of the 5.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Logging Off League Season 4. We are in our second and last day of the semifinals, meaning that we are about to find out who is going to be taking on NBZ in the final match of this tournament. We have Omni versus Elevators at the moment. Very excited to see this competition. I'm Juliet, once again back and happy to be here, along with my co-commentator Zero.
Hello. So good to be back here commentating for the semifinals. We're gonna have Omni versus Elevate, and two really strong teams. Both really proficient in, into the meta right now, and certainly very exciting matchup. The past hunters they have picked are all, the big five hunters that we've seen again and again in IVLs. So definitely interested to see how this will go.
Oh yeah, we've seen some incredible gameplay from both of these teams throughout this entire tournament. Every team we've seen out of the 16 that originally started playing, have just been blown away by so many of the needed efforts by survivors to get as many people out of the gate as they possibly can. I've been completely blown away by some of the masterful gameplay we've seen from so many hunters as well. Uh, and non-meta picks, we tend to get a really fun mix of things in NAU especially, which is one of my favorite things about logging off League. Um, get to see some pretty non-standard hunters, some pretty non-standard survivors. I'm hoping we get to see at least one clerk match for the end of everything. She is one of my favorites, and I know that NAU players love bringing her out. But you, Zero, is there anyone in particular you're hoping to see at the end of?
Good question actually. I'm actually hoping to just see the regular meta hunters rather, because in a lot of our past matches, we keep seeing, comfort picks as you've said, but I don't think we've really had a matchup where it's just strong meta hunters playing against strong meta hunters. I think this is the matchup that it is gonna happen, and in past matches. I believe both teams' survivors were utilizing the um, audience effect as well. So I think this is gonna be like, you know, both teams just gonna utilize the meta as well as they could as a really high tier matchup that we're gonna observe here.
Oh yeah, I couldn't agree more. People love hanging on to that meta, and because we do have a bit of an edge over the current JL setting, only because we don't to wait on the patch updates. We do have everything in effect. Every buffer nerf so far is live, although we will be following their rules when it comes a ban on the Qist and the Lanternist, as well as allowing Darkwoods in, and we do have survive for global bans for every survivor played for the first 3 rounds and every hunter. But going right into our first round, and speaking of meta, it looks like we are going with Leo's memory as our. We do have Omni hunting and Elevate surviving. Now, Leo's memory is a very fun, especially when it comes to those top 5 strong hunters you were talking about, Zero. I know it tends to be picked first round a lot, especially up against opera singers, Hullabaloo, Goatman, and even me. Hunters do have a little bit of struggle on this map. It's very small, but there are a lot of obstacles. Two-story in the factory, that's just a complete obstacle when you're kiting somebody. Overall, there's a lot that can go wrong here just because of the map on its own.
Yeah, it seems like the teams either have like so much confidence in their hunter that they don't mind having, a more survivor sided map, or maybe they're putting their emphasis on like particular survivor combos. Um, but in round one, I don't expect to see something too crazy. I'm just expecting to see the, good old regular lucky guys, meteorologist, and first officer as, the rescuer, puppet, these kind of characters just to, withstand the hula and goatman round that is in round one. Um, but and based on experience for these teams, I think that's what's gonna happen as well.
Yeah, there is a lot of potential here to go ahead and pick Leo's. That means you have confidence that your survivor can use it to their advantage, take advantage of that two-story kiting area, all of those walls and obstacles all in the way. I know you brought up Lucky Guy. He has been a very strong contender in the meta lately. I know in a lot of tier lists for current season rank, he tends to be at the very top throughout pretty much whatever region you're looking for. Over in China, Japan, and I think even NAU is feeling the effect of that Lucky Guy, that being able to use those items to his benefit, being able to just be a jack of all trades right when you need him. And we've been seeing a bunch of other survivors, especially a lot of the more recently released. Escapologist has come right into his own. He still has a buff coming up eventually, but he is a very strong survivor with a lot of useful items in his kit. Meteorologist, one of the say she is one of the survivors you do not want to be up against. I mean, she can heal, she can dungeon, she can knock you back with that wind. And then, of course, there's the archer and her constant stuns. So there is a lot of potential here. And we haven't even gotten the introduction of the cube and the lantern yet. I know that lanterness is going to be really a real nuisance for others coming up soon.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think is majorly because of the amount of hunters getting added recently, and as it gets more and more, versatility becomes much more important when picking survivors. Because past Lucky Guy, we used to say, oh, why would you open half a bot when you can just play mech? Why would you, get a gun when you can just play uh, coordinator, right? But as meta shifted, that's how more versatile survivors just get more popular and popular, picked. And yeah, same with the survivors that we've just discussed. Um, but yeah, something I noticed in the patch notes actually is audience effect wasn't touched. It wasn't adjusted at all. Um, which is quite strange to me. I'm not gonna comment on all the other buffs and nerfs yet, but this audience effect not getting adjusted did surprise me a little bit.
I'll be honest, I do get the feeling we will be seeing an adjustment on that. For anyone who is not familiar with audience effect, it's a trait that allows you to get a 12% decoding speed increase when somebody is on a rock, especially if you're watching current IJL or IVL matches. A lot of the times, what you're going to see are a bunch of ciphers getting time with nobody popping them just yet. Because the newest strategy with audience effect is to decode as much as you can and just have ciphers ready to go. So it's a domino effect. And I know for a fact that must be completely disorienting for hunters. I mean, you see right up there that you can't see the decoding progress on your hunter. You basically are at the mercy of that and above that says 5 ciphers, 4 ciphers, 3 ciphers remaining. So suddenly you'll get them all popped at once. You go right into endgame without any warning. So I'm sure by the time we get to Koa, they'll have a significant change on that, especially because we're so much of that data coming already. But we are loading into our first round. We have our first couple of bands. We have Aquarian, Seer, and Puppeteer band, and we are locking in the first officer and Enchantress. Very happy to see some Game 5 representation here. Enchantress is a very popular pick because of that she had, and the fact that she did get a decent buff to get an additional stun starting out. Magician is also a very popular round 1 pick. He has also been locked in. His decoy and his buff have made him very useful, and of course the first officer is a very reliable survivor all the way around. And there we are, Zero. Just like you said, guy has locked in for this.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is a very well-rounded, very common pick, dare I say, in round one. You know, first officer being, I'd say, the best rescuer in round one because just how effective he is against Hula and Goatman. Magician being just, you know, the greatest kiter, able to spawn at dangerous spawn points, giving the, you know, the two other kiters being Lucky Guy and Enchantress this match, again, you know, giving them a stronger kiting starting point, which is really well. Enchantress, I think, is such a Hula and Goatman counter as well, just because on how Goatman needs resentment and Hula needs free bombs. So if Enchantress manages to rescue off Balloon, it's gonna take up so much time or take up so much resentment from the Goatman. And we are going to see an Ivy pick instead of an Hula and Goatman, and I think that is completely fair. You know, it because they have such strong Hula and Goatman counters, being the first officer and Enchantress and Ivy pick is completely fair. But I'd say it's still a difficult match for the Ivy just because of how big this map is.
Yeah, Ivy in general is a very strong hunter, even with the nerfs she's received over time. She is incredibly skilled when it comes to map control and completely wearing down your resources throughout an end game. But that being said, with an Ivy, Cypher Rush is one of her strongest counters. And with the audience effect in play, especially with characters like that first officer who gets a 20% delay time on his chair taken off, he is going to be an absolute menace if you get him on that chair. But it looks like we are going to focus on either taking on the Magician or the Lucky Guy for that first. Enchantress is loaded down into the factory. First officer over by the near the Christmas tree. We have Lucky Guy over on the opposite end with Magician up in the tree. And we do have the Shadow up corner over by the gate. Are going to be loading into the first half of round 1. Omni hunting, Elevate surviving. I'm Juliet, and this is Zero. Good luck to both teams.
Good luck to both teams, indeed. Um, well, we're jumping into the match. We're gonna see which one Ivies go for first. Yif is gonna head towards the lucky guy. No, sorry, that is the magician, while main body is going to head for the lucky guy. Yep. Um, yeah, probably not gonna chase the magician as it's a much more difficult chase. Lucky guy seems to be the first chase having an elbow pad and kind of stuck in a corner, not an ideal place. Elbow pad used immediately, trying to transition away. Only 17% of a scare mark here. Get one scream in, two screams in consecutively. Quite an early hit for the Ivy. She has Blink, so honestly, she just needs to wait for Blink, and this might be a fast down.
Yeah, meanwhile, we do have the Yith separated from the main body again. We are heading back to that magician. Are we going to infect him again? Or we're just standing by? Meanwhile, Lucky Guy is going ahead and kiting through the shack. Unfortunately, we do have quite a few obstacrons already in place, which means that that will bring up his corruption. That's going to get a masterful blink from the Ivy as she brings down that Lucky Guy as he continued to mind game that window. We do have the Magician infected, but we chased him off the Cypher. We're going to chair the Lucky Guy right outside that shack. Cypher progress is good so far. We do have 2 Cyphers nearly popped, third about halfway there. First officer is coming in for the rescue while the Enchantress is focused on the Cypher right outside of factory, but we do have the Yith on the way to go and infect her. Meanwhile, the main body is camping the chair, keeping that Lucky Guy at bay. It has returned to the main body, and we are going to try and just mind game this chair. Will we be able to get a rescue before? Because the decoy went in and she was able to hit that decoy, we are going to get a hit on the Lucky Guy immediately.
Yeah, this free rescue. Oh, never mind. A wonderful teleportation from Ivy here gets the hit on Magician. I was gonna say, if this was a free rescue, the mid game is going to be much easier for the survivors here. She should still be able to locate the Lucky Guy from the Yif attached on the first officer. She already has full presence, so I doubt this Lucky Guy can really rebound Kite after this chair, but looking at the ciphers, I think is because of audience effect, as they still haven't popped in cipher. As the hunter, it must be very confusing to gauge how much cipher progress there really is. The ciphers are really close as well, somewhat, so it is gonna be a very effective audience effect as they don't really need to rotate much. First officer using pocket watch trying to approach to use the tide for the rescue. Ciphers shouldn't be enough. Full presence used somehow on the Magician, unable to catch him, and he is able to locate the Lucky Guy. Lucky Guy should just be dying in the corner while first officer get a free rescue once again. Magicians still have 2 wands, Enchantress having 1 stack, and Flywheel first officer still having a pocket watch. Survivors still have a lot of items to be playing in this mid game.
Yeah, overall, we are going to get our first elimination. Ivy brings the Lucky Guy over to the chair again. Meanwhile, the Yith in pursuit of the Enchantress and has successfully enchanted her. Looks like infected her. It looks like are we going to find the Enchantress? No, it looks like we are going to continue and try to hunt down that Magician who is on the steps of the factory. We are going to teleport right there, and we're going to down the Magician with that despite his decoy, so we will be getting our next survivor chaired. This area is covered in a corruption field as the Yithian pursues the first officer down over by the Christmas tree gate. We do have 2 ciphers popped. Now we have 1 primed, 1 nearly primed, and a third at about 70%. We have chased the first officer off of due to the Yithian, but we do have the Enchantress back, and we are going to, and the Magician will be rescued due to that effect. Still looks as though we do have both the Magician and Enchantress off the chair running. There is no more tide in effect, so once somebody goes down, they stay down. We are going to knock the Magician down again and return him to a chair unless the Enchantress is in the area and might be done.
Yeah, there is chance for a basement camp here, but Ivy opts to just chair outside factory. She is trying to control the cipher with the Yif here, but no full presence. I doubt this Enchantress will go down. Flywheel used as well. A blink used from the Ivy gets the Enchantress down. Now they actually don't have enough ciphers. She should be able to locate where the Magician is as well with the Yif attached to someone, and she just needs 3 more seconds for the full presence. Magician trying to get as much distance as he can, but I don't think ciphers are going to be enough, as no one is really close to the 90% cipher as a rescue needs to happen. First officer just got to the cipher, but unfortunately Magician already goes down, and I think this is a guaranteed win basically for Killer Boss. It just matters if this is a 3K or 4K now. First off, is trying to pop the cipher. He should be able to. There isn't full presence yet. He can just take a hit. But will he get full? Yes, he will. And the pocket watch gets wasted just like that. And now all she needs to do is to locate the Enchantress, and this is going to be a 4K.
Yeah, overall, very well done here. Very good endgame. Unfortunately, that first officer, he did have a second pocket watch, which meant he did get the full 14% reduction on his decoding debuff. So unfortunately, it did take him a bit longer to get that cipher popped. Took him a bit longer to get up Ivy. We do have the gate open at Cent. Do have the Enchantress trying to do her best. She is corrupted currently, but she was able to get a 3-stack hit on the Shadow. Unfortunately, she gets downed just as the first officer uses self heal. We have had the Enchantress shared already. We're just going to go ahead and down as we go ahead for a game. The Yithian is heading across the map now. We do have eyes nearly on the first officer. We have sight on his blood trail. We've picked up the Enchantress. Are we going to check? Or are we going to just leave her on the ground in the hopes of elimination? We are going to chair her just to guarantee that 3-man elimination. Meanwhile, we do have eyes on the first officer. We have full corruption in. He will be going down, and you're right, Zero. This will be a 4-man elimination for Omni. Congratulations to Omni, starting off very strong. Remember, folks, when somebody either gets a 4-man elimination or a 4-man escape, they get an extra point added, and those come in handy when it comes to tiebreakers or potential overtime situations.
Yeah, definitely a good advantage to be having. The points being 5-0 right now. And I have to say, Killer Boss really played Ivy well. I think a critical moment was him getting greedy with a hit on the Magician, which allowed him to down the Magician after the lucky guy got sent back to the manor. And that was the point where he turned a, possible tie game from almost a guaranteed win game for him. Um, I think definitely a little bit too greedy from the survivors for decoding. I definitely think the magician, not having flywheel, he definitely needed to be healed, or else, what happened would have happened. Um, I will say it was a very close match. But I think the Ivy just played much more aggressive than they probably expected. So that's how she got the 4K right now.
Yeah, and one thing I did really like about the Ivy was her dedication to specific targets. She was able to down the Enchantress after the Magician, but she did keep her focus on the Magician. She didn't switch targets off onto the first officer after he had rescued. She knew exactly who she needed to take down. She knew exactly what order she needed to take people down in. And she ultimately worked it out where she had the ultimate advantage. The first officer, the one with the strongest, with the worst decoding debuff, the one left to decode that final cipher. The Enchantress unfortunately was not able to get that gate open in time. Overall, just a very smart use of the map, a very smart elimination order from that Ivy, and the survivors, incredible job too. The first officer pulled off several really good rescues. The Enchantress pulled off very good stuns. Um, Overall, just Lucky Guy did use use a very good elbow pad when he needed it. Unfortunately, he just was not able to use very many treasure chests because he was that first sort of strategy you need to use with a character like Lucky Guy. Just so potent the longer you leave him alive. It's why you might want to chase him first. You might want to chase someone like the Bat. You just want to get those characters with a lot of useful things and as soon as you possibly can.
Yeah, in the first kite, I definitely think it is a little bit unfortunate for the lucky guy. Um, After he did the really good elbow pad, he got screamed twice from both the main body and the Yif. So he did escape the Ostracon with only 17 scare, but after taking two screams and maybe look at her just a little bit more, the first hit I think is definitely a little bit too early, and the flywheel did force out the blink, but I think for an Ivy match and in such a large map as well, ciphers being slower in bigger maps, the kite wasn't really enough. It did get saved from the first officer pre-rescue, but sadly it just wasn't enough time for the survivors, and the Ivy was able to get the 4K successfully. But moving on, the pressure is now on Elevates Hunter to be getting a 4K on the Omni survivors, but I don't think it's gonna be as easy as we think. Omni survivors, been here for quite a while. Even with the new survivors, switch coming in the past matchups in LO League, they performed really, really well.
Oh yeah, both all of our teams have done such an incredible job here. We've seen Omni around forever. We've seen Elevate have impressed and dominated throughout this entire tournament as well. At this point, these two teams do feel like they're very strong together. I mean, that exit gate was nearly popped open. It was just a matter of, was the rotation stronger or was the map control stronger? And I think in this case, it turned out that the Ivy's control just managed to edge out Survivors' coordination and map rotation. But we are moving into the second half of round one. We do have Elevate hunting with Omni surviving. Uh, Elevate does need to get a 4-man elimination in order to tie the round and guarantee a round 3. Meanwhile, Omni just has to get one person out in order to win this round and get a point in their favor. But we are starting off with some strong bands of the Antiquarian, Seer, and Meteorologist. And we are locking in the Officer and Enchantress again, although we are going to be swapping one of our other survivor picks out for the Puppeteer. We do have the Investigator band as well, our final band for the round, and we're going to be locking in that Lucky Guy again. Overall, a very strong, like we saw in the first round, Lucky Guy, Enchantress, and First Officer all have really strong things to bring to the table. And Puppeteer is one of the more popular round one hunters, round one survivors. He has a very strong kit where if you use your puppet right, you can take up to 4 hits before you go down. So overall, this is a very exciting team, a very strong team, a team definitely built to take hits, stay well-rounded, and just try to get as people out of the gate as they can in a short amount of time.
Yeah, I think both teams have similar ideas in survivor bans and picks. Being the antiquarian and the seer just forever in the ban hut and never coming out to see the light of day. But yeah, the first officer and Enchantress lucky guy pick. I think these are just, as we've explained, just really good counters to Hula and Goatman, and Lucky Guy being so versatile. I think it is unfortunate last game that Lucky Guy wasn't able to have the time to open chests and dig up a gun or pocket watch or something. But maybe this game we'll see him in a better effect. And I don't hate the puppet pick instead of the magician. Both are quite strong survivors, as you've mentioned, and we are actually going to see a Wu Chang pick round one, if I'm not mistaken. This has to be a first, right? In LO League. This is going to be an exciting matchup.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely exciting. Unfortunately I am trying to blank as to where I've seen Chung match in previous L League, but this is definitely the first time we've seen him show up in this season. I know I was joking a bit about the Game 5 composition before with First Officer and Enchantress, but with Wu Chang here, that really is the deal. We've seen him a few times in a few tournaments now. Every so often he'll pop up. Usually in IVL, that's when he makes his most appearances. But hope pretty versatile kit. I mean, you have two different forms to switch from, the White Guard and the Black Guard. White Guard has faster movement speed, but he does have that very tricky hitbox, that infamous Wuchang hitbox. But and then he has the ability to just cut you off from your items, disorienting you. And then the Black Guard, he has the ability to make you go in the opposite direction if you fail calibrations. And overall, that umbrella gives them so much map control the more presence they get. And we are getting our selections in. We do have Puppeteer and Factory. We do have Lucky Guy in the center, Enchantress in Shack, and then First Officer over in those ruins. But we do have Wuchang spawning in over by, and it looks like Puppeteer or Lucky Guy will be his face.
This is round one, second half. We are going to have Elevate hunting and Omni surviving. Good luck to both teams, indeed. I think the spawn is completely fair. It's away from any survivor's vision, so you can't really tell who he's going after first. And Wu Chang, I think anyone could be his first chase. because he can just TP right on top of them. But Lucky Guy, I think, seems to be the best option for him. If he TPs immediately, he might deny, Lucky Guy from opening a chest. So only one item for a Lucky Guy. Still could be a good chase, but he is just going to TP immediately on top of the Puppeteer. Puppeteer knows that is going to happen, rotating immediately already. After breaking this pallet, Puppeteer is just going to rotate back into the factory, and unless something happens, I don't think this Wu Chang is going to get his first hit soon.
Yeah, it looks like
Just-
we are just trying. Looks like we are going to teleport Umbrella in the area. Inside the factory, we are back to the white guard. Puppeteer is chasing out. We are going to try and land a charge. Fortunately, it's not going to hit due to the Puppeteer switch. We are getting a bit of chip damage already. We do have the first Wu Chang is continuing to go around. We are aiming those charged hits. Unfortunately, they are just not landing. Like I said before, White Guard does have an unfortunate hitbox. We are going to use an excellent. Unfortunately, the Puppeteer had predicted that already, so we are at half damage as he switches to the puppet. We are going to do an expertly landed pallet stun in order to try but we are going to switch to the guard, use a bell. We do have that chip in play on the Puppeteer. Once we get a hit in, he'll go down. But we are managed to hit on the puppet again. We do have the Puppeteer out chances as he continues to take his kite around this storage unit, but he finally goes down with a second ring.
Alright, bad news for the Hunter is already been 3 ciphers, and they do have 1 tied for the first officer. But again, it is a puppet, so if he gets rescued without tide, he can, use his puppet, and you basically have to hit the puppet twice to down him again. We are going to see the first officer using Pocket Watch early, but Wu Chen seems to cut him on, and was he able to siphon him? I think he did. That's why first officer was just rotating away. He is now trying to approach the chair, but yeah, unfortunately he wasn't able to get the rescue before half. Now the puppet is dead on chair and unable to use the puppet in 20 seconds. Let's see if he'll last. But unfortunately, it is a full presence Wu Chang, so after 2 bells, even though he dodged 1, he isn't able to last for 20 seconds, and he is going to go down. Unfortunately for the survivors, even though this is a full presence. But here we have the Lucky Guy here trying to use the gun to harass the Hunter, using a Pocket Watch early even, but the Wu Chang just hit him out of it. Lucky Guy being up here just you can't really get him. But Wu Chang teleports upwards, and a charge attack doesn't get him, forced the flywheel out of Lucky Guy, trying to bait him, and he does get the hit on Lucky Guy. That is going to be the second chair from the Wu Chang after he chairs the Puppeteer.
Yeah, overall, very well done by the Wu Chang getting that double down. Unfortunately, the Lucky Guy was able to waste a lot of time. We do have our final cipher over halfway done, but we have chased first officer off while we forced the Lucky Guy to self-heal, siphoning off that first officer as he second watch. We are going to use another blink and successfully hit him, so he will be going down very shortly. Unfortunately, we haven't started a 6th cipher yet. We do have a bit of a standstill here. It looks like Lucky Guy has used his self-heal. He is still up on the 2nd story. We do have Enchantress in the area. It looks like she will be coming in to rescue the first officer. Meanwhile, Lucky Guy is going to try and take over that cipher, but knowing where that primed cipher is out, do have Enchantress has rescued the first officer. He has been rescued before half this time, fortunately, so that we are looking at a potential 3-man end game as long. Oh, gun use as the Lucky Guy escapes. We do have our cipher at 83%, but are going to have to start a new one. It looks like we will be pursuing that Lucky Guy. He has used his self-heal, so if he goes down here, he can stay down. But it's a matter of whether or not the Wu Chang will go ahead and share him right away. We are going to land a hit with that guard hitbox nicer, and the Lucky Guy does go down as the Enchantress. The final cipher popped. We are at 3-person endgame, although we do have Lucky Guy at the chair at the moment. Nobody is at the exit gate. Yeah, we do have the first officer finally at the exit gate. He is working on it, but he is running away knowing that the Wu Chong is on his way. He did not bring trump cards, so he is staying with Blink only. Continues to pursue the first officer. Meanwhile, the Enchantress, I do believe she's going to go and rescue that lucky guy. She'll be able to get him before half, but we continue to pursue this first officer throughout the ruins. Lucky guy has been rescued, but first officer will be going down after chasing, leading Wu Chong right into a corner. Still no gates open yet, but we both have Lucky Guy and Enchantress going separate ways, so we are just trying to scatter the field. Are aiming for just a one escape because that is all on needs in order to win the round.
Yeah, as you said, the survivors only need one person, so all they need to do is have one person go to gate and have the other, just basically kamikaze and trying to rescue the person on chair. They're still hiding, not giving tinnitus. Not sure. The Wu Chang is going to teleport into the other gate, thinking the survivors aren't really that close to the chair and unable to rescue the first officer, which might actually be the case. However, if he continues this chase on this Enchantress, might be able to use Blink, but a flywheel prediction, well done from Fluffier, and a stun. She should be able to last for a bit longer, at least long enough for the lucky guy to open his gate, and a bell to cancel, a stun to cancel a bell. Unfortunately, good mind game from the lucky guy. Wu Chang here, able to get the down on Enchantress, but lucky guy is able to get out of gate while Enchantress has to stay very close to dungeon, but a one man, still good, still really good for Team Omni here, as they have secured round one with a 3-point lead.
Yes, very well done to Omni. Very well done to Elevate as well. That was a very strong play. I've always treat to see Wu Chong in tournament because he is such a awesome pick. I'm always very happy to see officers to play. It does also work in your favor when we do have a global ban because that means you don't. Once you start, you basically have two hunters banned going into round two. You have the hunter you played in the first round automatically banned off, and then the hunter that the other team gets to ban. So Wu Chong being banned, that means that only one of those top 5 strong hunters can get banned. And meanwhile, we have an automatic ban for Ivy for going into round two. Overall, a very fun first round, a great out the first. Both of these teams are very well matched, very well coordinated. Wu Chong almost had him in the end if it just hadn't been that cipher, having that one cipher nearly primed and just keeping that map control out of the way. Being able to rotate very well. In this case, the Omni rotation was very strong and basically helped them get to the gate while someone else was hiding. Keeping everyone scattered was able to give them an advantage and get that final gate open.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I will say though, this Wu Chang seems to be really good at guessing where survivors are when they're using pocket watches. I think in all 3 instances, if I'm not mistaken, 2 from the first officer and 1 from the lucky guy, he was able to locate them accurately and just hit them out of it almost immediately. Um, yeah, I think that was definitely what saved the game for Wu Chang there, because a free cipher kite from the puppeteer there, really well kite done by him, but unfortunately, he was able to locate the first officer in pocket watch mode and able to siphon him, in fact, and forcing the after half as well, bringing the advantage back to the Wu Chang. And as you said, picking Wu Chang in round one is actually really clever, because in round one, survivors, which they are expecting a Hula or Goatman or just the big 5 hunters, they might bring more radical traits, not bringing borrowed time, and some old school hunters are actually able to utilize that, right? If they have, if they all have borrowed time, they can actually force a rescue on the chaired person, and they didn't have to pop the cipher like that. They can go for the tie if they do a rescue, but because they don't have borrowed time, they don't want to risk anything. They don't want to risk the possible one man into the possible 4K, so they are forced to pop the cipher. But overall, well done to both sides. Great kite and great endgame arrangement for the survivors, and great camping as well from the Wu Chang.
Yeah, overall, a very fun match. Very fun round one. I'll say before we move on, I did also enjoy that puppeteer first kite. That was a very strong first kite. Excellent use of the puppet. Like I had been saying, you can take up to 4 hits before you go down, and that puppeteer was able to waste so much time on that first down that by the time he was shared, they had already popped Cypher. That put Omni into a very good position going into round two, which we are head into. Um, we will be, remember, we do have the global bans and screens for both teams. First Officer, Chantress, and Lucky Guy are all off the table. You can no longer select any of those survivors. Um, Omni will also have Puppeteer Band, and Elevate will have Magician Band, and then along with Hunters, like I was saying before, Elevate can no longer play Chong, and um, Omni can no longer play Ivy. Overall, a very fun um, playing field looking into round two. You have plenty of other hunters and survivors to choose from. Depending on which map we end up with, we may be seeing a Goatman pick for sure, potentially Peddler. I know we've seen a few hullabaloos here and there. Of course, I'm always hoping for off picks. Like I would love to see a Naiad again, maybe even a Night Watch. He's taken such a long time out of tourney meta that it would be very nice to see him again. Absence makes the heart grow fonder. So, Gerard, is there anyone you're hoping to see?
Nightwatch would definitely be interesting, as you said. I am, a bit of a Nightwatch player, but I will say in a tournament setting, Nightwatch really is difficult because the current strong survivors are basically Nightwatch counters, dare I say. Um, they're just, fast decoding, really safe rescues, and Nightwatch needs, something to happen. Nightwatch needs some ridiculous mistakes to happen, and I don't think it's gonna happen in a competitive, meta setting where everyone's just picking the strongest survivors. Um, but maybe some prospector gameplay as well is possible. Maybe to counter the peddler. But yeah, as you said, a lot of the hunters are available on this map. The big five hunters. Um, even wax artist, if you wanna save up, more meta hunters in round three. This is definitely a more hunter sided map, I'd say, right? Because the ciphers are really far apart. Sometimes the cipher layout is really awkward for the survivors, and um, I know it's less popular in any EU competitive scene, but clown is definitely an option, a viable option here as well, a very dangerous one as well. So definitely interested to see how they'll handle this ban pick.
Yeah, overall, a very good band pick here. We do have our second round map selected. It will be Lakes. Elevate will be hunting first, and Omni will be surviving. Lakeside is a very fun map. It's very big, very spacious, and just like Leo's Memory is such a strong counter to so many of those fantastic 500s we were talking about. Lakeside is another one, but the opposite reason. It is a very big map with a lot of open areas. That one very big ship for the two-story kiting, as well as that smaller ship for a smaller range of big of two-story kiting. Overall, just a lot of windows, a lot of pallets to deal with, but still plenty of open areas. So hunters that excel at map control, like we saw IV, which are both very strong hunters for map control, they have a very hard time Lakeside. This is a map where hunters with a bigger presence can really do some damage. Wax Artist is one that does tend to be pretty popular here, even though you may not think it due to his height. All that open area gives him plenty of space with his wax. See nightmares here occasionally. Nightmare players, especially people like Akka over C, can has shown on Lakeside you can be very deadly. Even Gamekeeper, way back when Gamekeeper used to be a very strong meta pick, kind of fallen off since that Poa 7 nerf, but he does tend to get picked for places like Moonlit River or Lakeside, just very big maps where his chain goes up a lot of distance and a lot of time. Going into round 2, we do have Antiquarian and Seer Band already, and we also have the Goatman band, because we will not have Goatman coming up soon. And while we do have Coordinator and Fire Investigator locked, we are looking for that really big, long stun from that flare gun the Coordinator carries, and the Fire Investigator can use those airbags to gain a lot of during kites, and also just blocking off areas like that situated the shack or the. We also have the Meteorologist band, and we do have the Embalmer locked as well. Another good hunter, another good survivor to try to gain distance from everybody. Try to use that coffin to keep someone, to get someone downed or chaired on one side of the map all the way to the other side. He is on a.
Yeah, I think in this map, in such a big map, it's really difficult to be doing harassments just because how awkward Cypher's, placements might be. So I think it's definitely fair for them to go for, a stable high decode and, a possible momentum changing gun with the coordinator there. Gravekeeper pick being last, very stable rescuer as well. If he have shovels, he can tank a end game hit as well, a detention hit as well from the hunter. So yeah, definitely very solid team comp. Um, I definitely agree with the Meteor ban as well, because her mobility in the small boat logs area is just phenomenal. So I think I definitely agree with the ban there. The escapologist ban I think is very fair as well. Um, it might be hinting at a hula looking at this bans. Um, yeah, but I'd say it's still gonna be difficult for a hula match here because, a gun is almost uh a lot of force time, right? Same with two shovels, same with coffin, and if the two balls from fire investigator are used properly, it's gonna be a time stall as well. This whole team comp is just, really hardcore time stalls for the hunter, and I think the survivors, know exactly what they picked themselves into.
Yeah, this is a very strong team here. A very good team at gaining distance, just trying to buy time, just wasting a hunter's time. It looks like we are just going to try and keep the hunter as busy as we possibly can. And with those bans, like you were saying, Zero, this is a hunter who is not looking to deal with too many survivors at the moment. Potentially, we could see a disciple pick. We could be seeing, but we are actually going to be seeing an op pick. Really, no surprises there. I would say fantastic. She and Goatman are the ones with the easiest time on Lakeside, even with her with the distance and map control. A a seasoned opera singer will be able to cover that distance very easily. Singers still manage 4-man elimination on a map as big as this, but meanwhile, she will have a lot to deal with. We do have those shovels that can take plenty of hits for her. We do have the embalmer who can rescue people remotely from that coffin. We do have the coordinator who can stun her right out of her shadow mode. I did see the other night an archer actually stun a opera singer out of shadows. So harassers are not her friends, but overall, this is a very strong team to send up against an opera singer. Traditional opera meta, but then again, with meta changing so much recently, can't really just stay consistent with a dedicated opera singer band unless you know you're going up against a dedicated opera singer main. There are just too many variables at this point. But loading into the map selection, we do have coordinator over at the smaller boat. We do have a fire investigator up in the shack. We have gravekeeper outside the boat, embalmer on the boat, and the opera singer spawning in over at that. It looks like she will chasing after that embalmer first, trying to keep him from gaining too much distance from his coffin, which he will very likely be opening up start of the match. But are getting into the first half of round 2. Elevate Hunting, Omni surviving. I'm Juliet. This is Zero, and best of luck to both.
Good luck to both teams. I think they definitely predicted the opera in favor of the Goatman. Sorry, Goatman was banned, but I think them bringing Windows was definitely fair for their kiting builds. So let's see who the opera is going to chase first. I think the Gravekeeper is also a valid chase, to catch them off guard. But it seems like Lace's Embalmer is going to be first chase, and the first hit might be coming soon just because of how fast this opera is. There is a mind game chance for Lace here. Lace just skips the first pallet and into the next one, blocks the leap, forcing it into cooldown, but still, this hit is really early. Him going up the ramp, Opera doesn't really have a lot of shadow to work with. Bomber should be able to make the next window. Is he? It's gonna be close. It is going to be a hit, really early hit as well, as the trade for Opera just came up and it is already a down. She is able to chair him possibly, yeah, in middle and possibly at normal a cipher. This is a really good start for the opera.
Yeah, a very good start from the beginning. We are going to go ahead and just completely abnormal a cipher back down to 0, just as the embalmer pops right out of his coffin. We are going to chase that embalmer all the way back to the boat. Is still working on his shield. He does have a few seconds left of survival, but he is going to manage to avoid a hit right at the start. He is heading to the raft. Aren't going to be able to get a fall hit on him, but we are taking him back to the shoreline where the operating are in, and we are going to land a hit before he can bring the pallet down. Now, we do have the fire investigator in the area. He will likely be taking on this rescue. Now, since the embalmer did get rescued from his coffin, he will be after on his second chair, technically speaking. We already have one cipher popped. We have a second nearly popped. And we do have a being worked on. Now, even with audience effect in play, coordinator still gets a 30% decoding debuff when she has a teammate on the chair. We are going to land a hit on the fire investigator, just try to prevent him from causing too much trouble, just weakening him for the next time. But we are going to continue to pursue the embalmer. We do land a hit on the embalmer, which means unless that coordinator can come in and use her gun, we will be seeing our first elimination very early into the game. We do have 2 survivors. We do have 2 ciphers popped with a third nearly on the way, but we do have our elimination coming as we bring the embalmer to his chair. So overall, this could be anyone's game at the moment.
Yeah, we are going to see Abnormal back up already again. If she wants, she could switch it to teleport or um, warp gate if she wants, but survivors I think is being really smart here, just not really the coding except for the Gravekeeper being the toughest chased for the opera so far. Him pre-dropping all these pallets as well, just forcing her to break all these pallets before she can really begin the chase, as fire investigator and coordinator healed back up to full. Even though the first down was relatively quick, I'd say the embalmer did a relatively decent rebound kite, stalling a bit of time as well, dying in the corner with Tide from the fire investigator. And now the opera needs to do a fresh chase on the Gravekeeper with 2 shovels, and small boat I think is notoriously difficult chase for the opera, as well as her missing 2 dashes, not giving her cooldown back. I think it is time to teleport and onto the coordinator with a gun here. A lot of the pallets are broken here, so it might be a little bit difficult for the coordinator as she will take the first hit, but she is basically just running away from the cipher. She has a gun, so she should be able to... Oh, actually just barely hit her. The opera tried to dodge the gun, but unfortunately the obstacles just was not big enough, and coordinator being too far away from the ciphers now, opera all the opera wants is to down someone close to the cipher, but there isn't anyone here.
Yeah, overall, it looks like the survivor rotation has come back in effect in a very strong way. Oh, and we do have another cushion out for the fire investigator. He still has one left on hand. We do have one cipher nearly getting primed right now, but we do have someone running off of it as they can tell the opera singer is on her way back. Still about a minute or so, about 30 seconds left to go on getting teleport back up. It looks like it will be handy in endgame. Meanwhile, we do have our sixth cipher started, trying to just prime another one while this one is unavailable. Opera Singer taking some time to break some pallets, trying to just wait out some of that Gravekeeper shovel. But we are going to land a hit on the Gravekeeper. We do have our second cipher at 0%. We have Coordinator on the way to help assist with decoding, or at least exit gate ready. Gravekeeper has been able to try to mind game the pallet, but the Opera Singer is going to use her cloak and take him down with a terror shot. Meanwhile, we do have the last cipher nearly primed. Teleport is just about up. Will she be using it now, or will she be waiting until endgame to get it?
I think she knows, yeah, ciphers are basically done. Even if she teleports, which she does, and downs the coordinator quickly, though, uh, I think the rescue is going to happen on the Gravekeeper, and they can still just prime the other cipher. And even still, the coordinator is still kiting with her windows here, still doing excellent mind games, but will go down right now. But Paper Moon already close, trying to threaten these rescue, not allowing you to possibly go back to Gravekeeper on that cipher there. Um, I think Cypher are just going to be primed. We're going to have the Fire Investor come in with one ball as the item and coming in for rescue. But this is not looking good for the survivors, as this is really close to the gate and they can't really prime this. A hit on the coordinator forces Cypher popping, but no Cyphers are on the gate yet, and it's gonna be a long way for them to get it happen. The coordinator does go down, a chair happens, but again, no one's at the gate yet, and she knows where the fire investigator was, and probably is just going to go straight for him.
Yeah, overall, this is a very tricky situation to be in. Coordinator is on her second chair, but we don't have anyone opening the gate just yet, which means Fire Investigator will have a lot of kiting to do in order to try to get that dungeon escape. Opera Singer has detention still for another 8 seconds. There is no way he's going to be able to rescue the coordinator from here. In fact, he will be going down very quickly. Unfortunately, it's still about 5 seconds until um, we are going to use teleport, but we are going to leave the fire investigator. But we do have the cloak be able to Singer recall back to him. So fortunately, she will be able to secure that man elimination. Overall, a very strong play right away. Very well done to the opera singer, making sure to get all those eliminations, but also very good making sure that they got at least one escape on the board going into the second half. Provide Omni with a win condition, though. If their hunter is able to get a 4-man elimination, we will actually find that Omni has won and move on to the finals. However, confident that Elevate has what it takes to turn this around as long as they can use the map to their favor, as long as they can use comp to their favor, and we can hopefully get to see both of these fantastic teams in a round 3 where things could really get right down to the wire because I really enjoy watching both these teams.
Yeah, definitely. There is a win condition for Team Omni now, but I don't think Elevates is just gonna give up that early yet. I think it's still very possible that we're gonna see a round 3. With that being said, I have to say the teleports made by the opera this round are excellent. The first teleport, with all the roaming that she did, she forced out 2 shovels from the Gravekeeper, and a gun from the coordinator. Meanwhile, just forcing everyone to scatter and not really decoding. And the second teleport, she forced the rescue to happen beside the gate, and forcing the Gravekeeper to be priming the cipher in shore as well, really far away from the cornfield gate as well. And I think that is what secured the win for the opera singer. Um, is just depleting survivors' items like that. Meanwhile, making sure that the ciphers aren't primed while she does that. And you know, in mid game, just based on the amount of items that survivors have, it really was looking like a tie. But with how aggressive the opera was in camping as well, she was really aggressive, trying to get a hit, denying all possible free rescues from the survivors. So, yeah, really well done for the opera here, and I think she definitely deserved the win.
Oh yeah, that was a very masterful replay. I mean, especially on such a big map like Lakeside, where Singer is automatically at a disadvantage. Um, alone, combined with the very strong Survivor team. I mean, you're dealing with hardly any decoding debuffs. You're dealing with a lot of gained distance. Getting that embalmer out right away was an incredible. Getting rid of those extra chairs he had, getting rid of the tide they had. I think, unfortunately, all it came down to was the fact that teleport just didn't cool down fast enough. Had it just cooled down in just a few seconds more, we could have seen a four-man elimination. But that just goes to show right down to the very last second, every move you make counts. Every decision you make in a game will have a consequence. And that's one of the most exciting things about watching Identity 5 is, one mistimed rescue, getting out of the gate a second too short, a timed angle on a anything can happen and anything can playing field. So I'm to the second half of round two. I am incredibly excited to see what we have in store for us now.
Yeah, these second the 1 second really matters a lot in this game. Is the split second decision making is what separates our competitive players than casual players, as they keep practicing and practicing for to see every situation that might be possible in Identity V, and with experience, they are able to judge which move they should really do. Um, but moving into round two, we're gonna see Omni hunting, and I think because they already have advantage round one, I think it's possible that for them to just bring out a meta hunter as well. And from the survivors, I don't think it's time to be, you know, saving survivors, strong survivors for round three. It's time to bring out the strong survivors that they still have that still haven't been banned yet. Because if they do get four-man eliminated, it's gonna be game over for them. So it's time to bring out the coordinators as well. Time to bring out the embalmers as well. Time to bring out fast decoders as well, just to ensure that the four-man doesn't happen.
Yeah, there is really at this point, it is pretty much just uh, no time to. Everything is right down to the wire. Once again, we are going to see that Antiquarian and Seer band away along with that Goat Man. We are going to lock in the Archer and Fire Investigator. Now, we did see in the previous round how strong a Fire Investigator can be on Lakeside, but the Archer, like I was saying last night, I had seen how now she had been against Opera Singer, being able to stun her right out of shadow. We are going to ban the Coordinator. We already have Archer banned. I'm guessing one harasser is enough unless Elevate wants to pick another one, though we don't have a rescue selected just yet. We are going to have to take a significant decoding debuff when we do pick our rescuer. If we pick a rescue, we're going to actually lock in that Acrobat instead. He is a jack of all trades, a very tricky fighter. Plenty of debuffs and disadvantages to the hunter with those balls he throws. But our final ban is going to be the mercenary, meaning we are trying to force a rescue, though we may end up ahead and lock in the knight final round.
I definitely think this is a bit of a risky picks. Well, specifically just a knight, because I think in IVL, less and less teams are utilizing knight, because as strong as he is, maybe in rank, there is the risk of just missing the guess, right? You just guess wrong of whether the hunter is going to use attack ability or ability, and in IVL they just doesn't like risk. But definitely interesting to see how he'll perform this match. As you know, I genuinely think it's just a 50-50 mind game for the night here. So I definitely think he's gonna be the crucial part of this, of how this game will go. I also worry about him just being first chase, um, but I'm sure the survivors would have anticipated that and possibly have Acrobat and Fire Investigator bring Tide as well. As you know, uh, as versatile as they are, they can really bring any trait and it'll work out on them. We are going to see the Hula pick, just a meta pick that I have mentioned, and I think definitely a fair pick as he counters the knight. He counters the knight because if the knight is in the red area when rescuing, he can't really use the shield rescue thing. So definitely something to watch out for. But um, honestly, besides the knight, all of these free survivors are kind of hard chases. As they have mobility, they have stun. So it is not going to be an easy game for the Hula, but we'll see what happens. His strength is definitely still present. So
Yeah, we do have a very strong selection of hunters and hunters alike. Hullabaloo being here does mean that we're going to have to coordinate the cipher pop a lot differently than we usually do because Hullabaloo has the unique trait of not having attack recovery. However, with that lack of attack recovery comes with a very unique attack way where he has to land 3 hits on someone for them to go down. Fortunately, this is not a team that can't will be able to tank hits, can't use the Gravekeeper, the Puppeteer. Everyone here will just need to harass and escape as fast as they can. And it looks like we do have Knight isolated on the boat, so we are going to let him decode for the time being. Meanwhile, we do have the Acrobat, Archer, and Fire Investigator all surrounding Hullabaloo over by that ship. We are heading into the second half of round 2. Hunting with Elevate surviving. I'm Juliet, this is Zero, and best of luck to both teams.
good luck to both teams as well. I really like the night spawn in Megbolt. I think it makes sense because him being only the quote unquote safe rescuer, putting him in the safest spot is definitely a very fair option. Looks like the Acrobat is going to be our first chase here. Running a little bit into the Hunter, but turns back just in time. But the double surprise should be able to get a hit, but the Pit just turns around immediately, going for the Knight who has been in short because the Cypher in Big Boat has been locked. One double surprise gets one bomb. The second one should be on, but gets the white bomb again. Two attack predictions because the double surprise is already gone. Successful, but he isn't really able to transition away, and he's still trapped on shore. But the next double surprise is here already, and a double bomb already gets a damage onto Knight. This is why I said Knight was a little bit of a risky pick, because if you do guess wrong, it's gonna be really dangerous. Another double surprise might be able to down the Knight, as the Knight doesn't really have flywheel and he keeps being on um, the flame area. Pit trying to get the last bomb on him, but just barely misses. But another double surprise is able to get him down. And so far, Cyphers aren't really that far yet. This is very possible, as Hula, being a very strong camp hunter, might make something happen here.
Yeah, overall, very strong cipher decoding time. We do have that was a very strong kite from the Knight already. Unfortunately, that does him without any more helmets. He's not going to be able to predict anymore throughout the match. He's very quickly rescued by the Fire Investigator. Unfortunately, we do have another hit on him already. Meanwhile, we do have an additional hit on the Fire Investigator, and it looks like we are going to just try and aim to get another hit on him. Just aiming for that double down very quickly while he does have that white ball in effect. Knight is currently downed, while the Acrobat is currently working on his Cypher. We still only have just one popped at the moment. But we are going to down the Fire Investigator. The Archer has been in the area for a sudden stun rescue. She has used one of her arrows and one of her crossbows. We're continuing to chase the Fire Investigator as he has been. Knight is still working on healing up. The Archer is in the area, still working on decoding the Cypher. We do have the Fire Investigator downed again. Knight has used his self-heal, but we are going to try and land a hit on the Archer while she's in the area. Just trying to keep her from harassing any more than she already has. Meanwhile, we do have time wasted, but we have yet to see another Cypher. Meanwhile, she is just one bomb away from Curio. She has an arrow ready. Fire Investigator comes up. We are going to down the Archer before she is able to harass a second time.
Yeah, I'm not so sure the Archer is still harassing with only one bomb needing to down her, as we're gonna see a double down right here. We are going to have 4 ciphers ready basically, but one whole cipher is still needed, and 2 people on chair. 1 survivor have to come in and rescue. Ciphers probably wouldn't be ready. Acrobat is going to be rescuing, but a double down is definitely possible here, as it is going to happen. The lack of flywheel is definitely dangerous for the survivors here as well. Accidental flip, I think, from pit stoppers here, granting the Archer a little bit more kite time. Warp forced out, but gets countered by the window boost or pallet booster. Misses an arrow, unfortunately, and she should go down here. Nope, she is just a spin for the who is able to get the Archer down, but Fire Investigator is going to be rescued, and Acrobat using self heal as well. I'd say this is not as bad of a game for the survivors now, as honestly the the Acrobat and the Archer there wasted quite a bit of time. They can really just sell right now and try to plan how to decode the last cipher.
Yeah, overall, very strong show. And it looks like the Archer will be our first survivor eliminated. She did have 1 arrow left. Unfortunately, is rescued at the very last second. We do have, unfortunately, 2 survivors who have used their self-heal. Fortunately, the Knight is at health for now, at least. He's still being chased after. We only have 2 ciphers decoded so far, 2 nearly primed, and we do have a 5th one being worked on at the moment. As the Knight continues his kite out into this ruin area. Hullabaloo finally landed a hit on him. Everyone now is injured, but it looks like Archer is currently being healed by the Acrobat. Very good to just heal her as quickly as they can, as she is dead on chair. Meanwhile, Fire Investigator has gotten Cypher finished. Knight using an airbag from Fire Investigator to try and just buy himself some more time, but he will be terror shocked right out of the window as he is being carried off. I do believe he has a second care, and I'll just have to verify. Oh yes, because he was rescued very quickly. Meanwhile, the last cipher is already over halfway. Is up, but it looks like we might not be using that just yet. We do have Fire Investigator in the area. We have Acrobat currently on the final cipher, but we do have Warp in here. We did walk right into a. We do have. Oh, but we will down the Acrobat, and he does not have attack. He does not have self heal anymore. But we are going to go ahead and share him and be a basement chair.
I definitely think sharing the Acrobat is valid, because he needs someone to be chaired beside the last cipher, forcing the survivors to start another one. But now that Warp is used, he can't really go out, and we're gonna see 2 survivors coming in from 2 directions trying to do the rescue. Him using double surprise, trying to locate the closest survivors, as he does, but survivors just not really giving him any distance for him to properly chase. But Hula, I think he is just going to give up on the Acrobat and start his chase on the Archer, who has 2 bombs on her already. A double surprise here might be a flip, and a double surprise once a stun does happen. Cyphers shouldn't be ready, This is dangerous for the archer, dodging another double surprise again, dodging the second hit, but first hit gets her, and she is dead on chair. Uh, and this is going to be the first elimination from the Hula. I think the aggression from the Hula definitely very valid here, as both ciphers are being worked on right now. It should be able to just pop. Survivor scattering in Big Bow, not giving him really a chance to chase anyone yet, as they know ciphers are going to be primed in Shack. But Acro unfortunately jumps down right into the Hula, but Hula instead sees the Fire Investigator with one ball left. Dungeon is in logs, and if I remember correctly, the Palisade logs are still available there, so there's definitely a chance for a dungeon escape here. But this Fire Investigator needs to kite long, which he is trying, but Fire Investigator goes down. But gate is going to be opened. Warp should be able to catch the Acrobat. Acrobat doesn't really have a bomb left, so let's see how Pit is going to intercept this Acrobat. Acrobat trying to hide, but he can see your um, trail, and Acrobat goes down here. I don't think the survivors should be going out here. A 4K would result in a game over for the survivors here. Uh, they're really trying to go for the tie, perhaps, but Knight doesn't really have um tied as well. Not sure why he is out of the gate, as we see two ciphers down. Now this Acrobat without um self heal as well. So this Omni won, right? Omni won. Omni got the 4K that they needed.
Yeah, well, I mean, anything could happen. I mean, if we are able to get Knight over dungeon before the bat is gets sent out of the game, if one of them is able to bleed out before the other, there are variables that could happen here. We do have the Acrobat dropped by the Hunter. I don't think the Hunter knows that both of them have used their self heal yet. We might not have an idea of what's happening here. We are going to go ahead and pick up the Acrobat. I think we are just going to chair him over by. He is going to struggle free now. It's like we are just trying to prevent him from healing. Remember, we don't know that he doesn't have self heal yet. So he is up for the time being. We will down him very quickly, heading back to try and locate that Knight. We do know the Knight has had some, but again, both of these survivors have their self already. It's just a matter of being able to locate them both, making sure. So we are just trying to locate them. We do have eyes on the Acrobat. Are we going to be going right back to the Acrobat? Remember, the exit gate is open down here, so we do have that in mind. Knowing the Acrobat is in the area, it might be in the Hunter's best interest to pick him up and just keep him from crawling out of the gate, which he looks like he might be able to do if we aren't careful. We have used Warp evade that. We could potentially be seeing a one-man escape if the Acrobat is able to escape. So, but knowing that we are heading back to the warp, will we be able to make it in time before the warp closes? Yes, we will. Just in the nick of time, we are able to get that warp. Acrobat was very close to getting out of the gate, but we are going to pick him up, carry him over closer to the center, just trying to wait out the two survivors as they continue to bleed out. This is a very slow crawl to the end. Are just carrying him. Acrobat will be able to struggle out of the balloon a second time. Once again, running towards that open gate as best as he can. We do manage to cut off final bomb. He is going to go down once again. He is finally bled out. We do have the dungeon open, but the Knight is currently crawling his way there. We do finally surrender, bringing this round to a and giving Omni the second four-man elimination that they need, bringing Omni to a decisive victory, moving them on to the finals next week against Envy. Very well played from both teams. Excellent work from Omni, excellent work from Elevate, but it just seems at the very end, right? It just came right down to.
Yeah, congratulations to Omni, indeed, and well played for both teams. Um, yeah, Omni's Hunter definitely getting a 3K and a 4K, or was it two 4Ks? I forgot, but both games played really, really well for uh honestly for all the Hunter games as well as the Survivors. So very exciting matchup we just had, and as we said, a lot of the meta picks that we're seeing, except for the Wuchang match, definitely a very surprised pick, and it worked decently well as well. So yeah, very interesting matchup to be commentating.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us for our semifinals. That does bring them to a close. And sadly, that is the end of your Logging Off League coverage just for this weekend. Come and join us for Omni versus NBZ final, and the winner of the tournament will be decided. Please come out and support us there. Please come out and support our wonderful staff. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for the Logging Off Guild for this tournament. I'm Juliet.
And this is Zero.